All right, it's been a while for the video. Let's get into it. This video, we're gonna quickly go into Bitcoin, quickly go into S&P 500 and oil, and then I have a few news items to share with you guys. So first of all, looking at Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is forming right now a bearish flag pattern, and that means we are most likely gonna break down. We had the same pattern here before between November and January when we eventually broke down, and we have right now the exact same pattern forming right now. You can see it here, the bear flag. We're trading sideways in the bear flag, and then we break down further. Same thing right now, we're trading between around about 73,000 to on the downside around about 63,000. Now the resistance lies here at around 65,000, and most likely, because the same thing happened last cycle, we're gonna break down. Now the moment to watch out for is right here. We're at critical support at $66,000. If we have a daily or 2 daily candle confirmations below this level, then most likely we're gonna continue to go down. So this is also the same thing that happened last cycle, and I want to just reiterate that. Last cycle we had the same pattern. First of all, a bearish divergence. We can see that we're starting to go down. There's less momentum. At the beginning we went up very rapidly, and then it slowly curves out. Secondly, double top. Same thing here, double top. Thirdly, double top going into a first bear flag, right? This was the first bear flag. Here I'm marking it. First bear flag here. Going into a second bear flag right here, and this is the second bear flag. And then we go a bit further down for a couple more months before eventually finding a bottom. Now this cycle, I think we're gonna bottom out around about September to October 2026. Most likely, I think the bottom will lie around about this support region here, which I marked in orange. This is here resistance, and it is here support. And that level lies around about $50,000. Between 48, 52, around about that level, I think we're gonna bottom out. And this is the last bear flag. We're gonna go down, go a bit sideways and slowly down until September, in my opinion. So stack up your Bitcoin, buy more Bitcoin along the way, and then it's gonna be bull season again very, very soon. The S&P 500, of course, is following Bitcoin, and we can see generally we're going into a recession kind of, and it's following a certain trend. The trend is this. We're going up, but we're consolidating into a small point at the end of the triangle, and then we're going down. Same thing is happening every single time. I mean, look at this pattern. We go up, we consolidate, we go down. Consolidate, we go down. Same thing here, and the same thing is happening right now. We are going down. I predicted this a couple of weeks ago already when we just were about this level. You watch back my old videos. That is, of course, nonetheless, we're going down, it's fine. That's how the market goes. Of course, the current Iran-US situation is contributing to that. And what it also does is increase the oil price. I mean, look at oil. If we zoom out a bit here on the daily, actually, let's go, on the daily, we can see that oil has massively increased. I mean, before that, oil was trading around about, what is it, $70, $60, $70, but now oil is actually trading at around about $100 per barrel of crude oil. Now, with the Strait of Hormuz being closed, that is 20% of oil going through the strait. With that being closed, 20% of global oil supply is not exiting. That will increase prices, obviously. Now, we went down a bit, but we're going back up. There's uncertain news. So President Trump tweeted that he will pause US strikes on Iranian power plants. So he was basically threatening Iran that they will attack the power plants in Iran. But he said we will pause this until I think it was the 6th of April. So the market went down. It's a good news, obviously, because if the power plants get hit, that is a big hit on infrastructure, energy infrastructure. But the markets went back up afterwards again. So the news is very uncertain. Here is President Trump's post from the White House. As per Iranian government request, please let the statement serve to represent that I am pausing the period of energy plant destruction by 10 days to Monday, April 6th. That's what he said. The market went down, it went back up. We don't trust the news. Next, US gas prices are now up $1 per gallon. That is a big number because we're measuring per gallon prices here. They are reaching a peak at almost $4 per gallon, and we can compare here the previous years. We were never this high. Now, also, mortgage rates are nearing 6.5%. This is a 7-month high. Now, let's look into mortgage rates. If mortgage rates are up, this means that less people can buy real estate, can buy houses, because the interest rates are going higher, right? For the mortgages. That is not good for the economy. That will continue to bring this chart down, the S&P 500, which tracks the US economy and also the general worldwide economy in a way. So US mortgage rates have jumped for a fourth straight week, reaching the highest point in 6 months. We have said they reached 6.5%. As I said, bad for the economy. Nextly, we're gonna talk about some good news actually. And now back to Bitcoin. So Coinbase and Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae is a major company which allows mortgages essentially. They are partnering and they are allowing Bitcoin to be used for loans for deposits, for down payments. So what this means is that people who before this didn't have enough liquid cash for down payments for a mortgage can now use their Bitcoin as collateral. Meaning, here we go, meaning that instead of paying the down payment in cash out of pocket, you take a loan specifically to cover the down payment. And basically you pledge your Bitcoin or USDC, you give it to Coinbase, and they will then give you a loan for that amount in dollars, which you can use together with Fannie Mae as a down payment for a mortgage. Essentially allowing more people who don't have the money but maybe have Bitcoin to obtain a mortgage, to obtain a down payment for the mortgage. Now, is that a good thing? Yes. Is it a bad thing? Also, it's a bad thing because some people might not deserve a mortgage, in my opinion. They might not have the funds and they will default on their mortgage, but now they are able to get the mortgage, get the down payment because of their Bitcoin holdings. But if they don't have the money to make the payments afterwards, it's not going to work. And eventually, Coinbase is just going to keep that Bitcoin. And I think that's their strategy, to take this Bitcoin away from the people. Okay, next. Next, we have looking at countries. So Bhutan, small country, they have been buying a lot of Bitcoin actually. Here we can see they've been stacking Bitcoin since early 2021 until about October 2024, which is when they started selling their Bitcoin. They have sold in 2026 alone $152 million worth of Bitcoin, and they keep selling more. For example, right now they have transferred another $37 million to an external address. If they transfer to an external address, this usually signifies selling. They're going to first transfer to an external address, then sell it on the open market from there. Also, another big player that is selling is Mara Holdings. Mara Holdings is a very big, actually the biggest mining company. So they mine Bitcoin, and they used to be the second largest institutional Bitcoin holder in the world after MicroStrategy. Now they're on third place. They have sold, after selling 15,133 Bitcoin to fund its AI pivot. Mara falls out of the second spot, a position held since the treasury race began in 2024. What does this mean? Large whales, large players like Bhutan, like Mara are selling their Bitcoin. And of course, as a result, don't expect Bitcoin to go up. This just keeps pushing Bitcoin to go down. And these players know that we're in a bear market. We are going down right now. And this is also what Google says here. Mara Holdings is a leading US-based digital asset technology company and one of the world's largest publicly traded Bitcoin miners. That is it. That's it for today's video. Hope you guys liked it. See you next time. Bye.